Wait, Mina, don't! You begged your friend, who only giggled in response as she shoved you in the closet. You let out a small shriek as you fell forward, but luckily a pair of strong arms caught you before you could hit the carpeted floor. The closet behind you shut and locked tightly, in order to prevent you from escaping. They got you too, huh? A familiar voice questioned. You already knew who it was. You could just barely make out his red hair and in the dark. You felt anger for your friends at the moment for doing this. They knew you had a crush on him. Mina promised not to get involved when you told her your secret, and yet here you are, locked away in a small dark closet with him. Yeah, things are catching me, you replied awkwardly. You two were really close together. Even after he let you go, you shuffled back until you hit the wall. Light was coming through the bottom of the doorway, where there was a small gap. You assumed by the lack of whispering and giggling, they all actually let you have your privacy. Which was more than surprising for those nosy friends of yours. Okay. It was only 7 minutes. You could do this. You could make it 7 minutes without being awkward or embarrassing. As you were panicking, you had barely realized a full minute has already passed by. You could practically feel the awkwardness in the air, which was strange because you and Kirishima were really good friends. You always hang out together, sometimes even alone, so it shouldn't be this awkward. But it was. It was so awkward. Apparently, being locked in a small closet together was too much for you both to handle. Do you know why they did this? You heard his voice breaking through the silence. You tensed up at the question. You did know, but you weren't about to tell him the truth. No, do you? No, I mean, Kaminari just yelled something about 7 minutes in heaven and then threw me in here. 2 minutes later, Mina threw you in too. I wonder what's gotten into them, he muttered. There was little room in the closet, and each of you was pressed against the opposite wall, so you wouldn't invade each other's personal space. But all the codes weren't helping with the lack of space either. At least it's only 7 minutes. I didn't even know they were playing this. I only came down to get a drink. Me too, Kirishima replied. You both started getting suspicious feeling about this whole situation. Do you think they're even playing? He asked you. You ran a hand through your hair. You were just about to ask the same question. They have to be. Why else would they shove us in here? You started to get a bad feeling and you didn't know why. Surely they wouldn't just shove you in together when they weren't even playing the game. They wouldn't do that to you. They knew how much you liked him. Why would they randomly shove you into in the hallway closet? I've never even played this game before. What are you supposed to do? Kirishima asked. And to you. It sounded all too innocent. The thought of having to tell him what people usually did in this place made your face go red. Luckily, it was dark, so he probably wouldn't see. Well, usually people. You felt your words getting stuck in your throat, and you fidgeted nervously. Did you really have to say it out loud? This was so embarrassing. People usually make out during 7 minutes in heaven. A long silence followed your words. You were worried about his lack of response. The small amount of light only slightly illuminated his features. He had his head down, though, so even if there was light, you doubt you'd be able to read his expression. Not that you could blame his silence. You wouldn't know how to respond to something like that either. Oh, was all he said after a while of nothing. You had probably made things so much more awkward now. You should have just lied to him. Hey, want us to kiss? But why? I don't know, but we don't have to. There's only a minute left now anyway. You couldn't wait to be let out. You were going to kick some ass. This might have made things really awkward between the two of you. This was all Mina's and Kaminari's fault. Neither of you knew what to say. The thought of kissing each other. Well, it was nice, but you two are friends. Close friends. A kiss would ruin that forever. When you glanced at your watch, you nodded. Time's up. But unfortunately, even though it had been 7 minutes, no one opened the door. You waited another minute, thinking maybe you had just timed it wrong, but again, no one opened the door. Then 2 minutes went by, and then 5. And you both started to panic. You don't think they forgot about us, right? Kirishima asked you. You shook your head in disbelief as you stared down the door, hoping if you stared enough, it would magically open itself. Of course, that was just stupid, but you were panicking. No, of course not. They'll be here any minute to let us out, I'm sure of it. 2 hours later. Listener, I think they've left us here. Oh, for sure, you replied as you let your head fall back against the door with a thud. It's past curfew now, too, so looks like we'll be here all night, you muttered. The closet was in the hallway, not too far from the door, and so it was currently freezing in here. You pulled your legs up to your chest to try and keep you on some of your body heat. But the cold was winning. You heard some shuffling before feeling a coat being wrapped around your small form. You felt Kirishima sit next to you and put an arm around your shoulders in hopes of helping you warm up. Your quirk really makes you prone to being cold, doesn't it? He asked you, and you nodded, sinking into his embrace. He was really warm, and you welcomed the extra heat happily. You smiled at how sweet he was. It was just one of the reasons why you liked him so much. Luckily, we have coats. We can at least make some beds with them. Which corner do you want? He asked you. You buried your face into his shoulder. His body heat was lulling you to sleep. Any corner you're in. When your own words processed in your brain, your eyes shot open to be met with Kirishima's red cheeks. I said that out loud, didn't I? You sighed in aggravation for your own stupidity. You heard Kirishima laugh in amusement at your slip-up. Yeah, but I think it's a good idea. At least that way I know you won't freeze to death because I'll be there to keep you warm. You felt relief fill your chest. He didn't freak out over you saying something like that. He maybe thought it was a joke. It wasn't. You did want to be beside him. You both decided to grab some more of the coat